Here we are. Welcome back to this live streaming, guys. We're gonna talk about acoustic guitar, R&B, and neo soul acoustic guitar tonight. So I'll be waiting for a few more people to join. And I will also get, as usual, my live streaming on another device so that I can check that the comments are coming through. I would start maybe with a couple of minutes of, just playing some R&B guitar. Okay. So first thing first, I noticed that the quality, at least from here, is not great for some reason tonight. Let's try to figure out. Hi, Kieran. How are you, everyone? How are you doing? Okay, it seems to be a little bit better now. So hopefully, okay, I'm gonna try and stick with it. Guys, while you join, feel free to say hi. Let me know how you are, where you're from. If you're interested in this style, in this acoustic R&B and neo soul style, and obviously, if you got questions, this is the right time to ask anything here in the comments, and I'll try to answer while I'm live. Yeah, so that's the first thing. So I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about this new series of videos that I'm uploading on YouTube here on my channel. Hi, Bastien. Really good. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, I hope everyone is well too. So let me know, guys, where you're from and how you're doing over these tough times. Yeah. So I created this new acoustic R&B and neo soul series. Okay, I uploaded the first video last week, and it had a beginner groove, which was with 3 chords, really: D minus 7, E minus 7, and A minor. Okay, I'll move here so that you can see me even better. You can see all of my guitar. So yeah, it was just 3 chords. So D minus 7, E minus 7, and then A minor. Okay, and that was a groove to get started. Okay, with this new series, to get started with this new style, which is R&B and neo soul. And you could just start, when you play something like that, you could just start from plucking 4 single notes. Then add the percussion to get into the actual vibe of this style, and playing. So it's basically all around, these 3 chords. And then as soon as you get familiar with the actual timing, you start add a few embellishments, like here on the A minor simple open chord, you can start lifting the first finger and then go back to it. Or for example, if you're practicing this D minus 7 and E minus 7, you can slide in between there. Okay, which sounds great. And then you can obviously have more neo soul, typical neo soul, embellishments, usually with the little finger. So I'll show you even here what I'm doing. So. If you're used to this kind of R&B style, This is just 4th degree, 5th degree, both -7, then go into the 1 minor. Okay, so this was the first video I was saying that I uploaded last week to get started with this new series, with this new style. I prepared another video, which will be up on Tuesday, because I'm moving the day of the week when I release the YouTube videos every week. And it's going to be every Tuesday now. It's going to be at 6 o'clock in the UK, which is 7 in Central Europe, or it's 10 a.m. Pacific coast of the US, and it's 1 p.m. East side of the US. Okay. So I changed the day. So on Tuesday, it's going to be up my next video, and it will be the second part, the second episode of this series on R&B and acoustic R&B and neo-soul guitar. And it will go slightly more, it will become slightly more difficult. It's a series that I want to create around different styles. Sorry, not different styles, same style, different levels. So I want to make sure that everybody, no matter what's your level, will be able to find something interesting to really crack how to play this style on acoustic guitar. So the next lesson will be for intermediate players, and it will go with, a -7 chord, with an embellishment as soon as you start, then a diminished 7th chord, which you can slide, then the 5, another diminished 7th chord. So very simple. It's literally the 1 minor and the 5 minor. I can't remember if I recorded it probably in a slightly different key, so I guess that I actually played it in A flat. This will be in A flat minor, but I'm playing it now in A minor to keep things even simpler. And it's basically this 1st degree, diminished 7, which you can then slide. We'll talk about why we can do that. Then -7. And when I play this -7, most of the times I do this kind of embellishment. Okay, so some people commented asking for details of this kind of embellishments that I play. So this is how I do it. So I'm basically plucking top string, then bottom 3, and hammer on pull off with my little finger. So you need to be quite strong in the hammer on pull off side. And then once you've done this, it's up to you what else you want to pluck. I generally pluck 2nd and 3rd string this way. So like, and after that I play another diminished 7th chord, and it sounds to me a little bit more jazzy and neo soul. Maybe you can play a melody. I guess they play a melody. But you can start even simpler. You can just start like, so what am I doing here? I'm plucking 4 notes on the A minor 7 with a slightly swing shuffle feel, like. Then the -7, diminished 7, same thing. Then the -7. Then here I play half -7, half diminished 7th coming next. So the chords are A minor 7, E flat diminished 7th, then E minor 7, E minor 7 again, F diminished 7. Okay. With the diminished chords, are they -7 flat 5? And if so, how can you use 2 in a chord progression? Is it borrowing from another scale? Very good question. So let's answer this question, which is the real core of what I'm teaching here. So when I talk about these diminished 7th chords, okay, they are not -7 flat 5. They would be half diminished. The -7 flat 5 chords, like this one, they are the half diminished because there is a triad which is diminished, but the 7th is minor, so you can't call them diminished. You call them half diminished or -7 flat 5, and they're generally used in a 2-5-1 minor, like this. that's a 2-5-1 minor and C minor. I'm playing D half diminished, minor 7 flat 5, G7 all thread, C minor. But we're talking now about different chords which are diminished 7, so they are fully diminished, meaning the triad is diminished, but the 7th is diminished as well. So it's not like a minor 7th, it is the diminished 7th that I'm using here, okay? So it's basically gonna be root note, minor 3rd, root note, minor 3rd, perfect, diminished 5th, sorry, and diminished 7th, okay? So it's a fully diminished 7th chord. The reason why you can use that to go, for example, between, you know, the 1 and the 5, you can pass through a chromatism, you know, this E flat diminished 7th, because you look at it as the upper part of a B7, okay, B7 flat 9. So I know it's a little bit complicated. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible to try to explain why we use so many diminished 7th chords and why you can use 2 of them, okay, as you said, in the same chord progression. So let's say that I'm going to this E minor 7. This is my goal. I want to reach this E minor 7. I can do so. I can reach this E minor 7 passing through the secondary dominant of this chord. The secondary dominant, if you're not familiar with it, it's just the 5th degree of the chord I'm going to. For the E minor 7, the 5th degree would be a B. Okay, this is the 5, this is the 1. So I'm pretending for a second that the E minor 7 is the 1st degree, and I'm going there, passing through the secondary dominant of the E minor 7, which would be B7 flat 9, this chord here. Now, when you play this chord, especially if you know this kind of voicing, okay, you can look at it as a dominant 7 chord made by root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7th, and then you can also play the flat 9, so you can play this note here. Now, if I remove the root from all this, okay, the chord that I'm left with is a diminished 7th chord. So instead of going from A minor 7 to E minor 7, passing through just the classic secondary dominant, which would sound good, it's basically this, and it would be okay, I replace this, not really replace this, but I play this chord without the root. And without the root, this becomes a diminished 7th chord, like this one. Okay, because this, with a B on the bass, it's a B7 flat 9. Okay, now when I look at the diminished 7th chord, every note here could be the root. So I could play a G diminished 7th chord, a C sharp diminished 7th, an F sharp, sorry, not a D sharp diminished 7th, an F sharp diminished 7th, I could play a C diminished 7th, okay, because all of these notes, G, D sharp, F sharp, and C, they could all be the root note, because every time I have a diminished 7th chord, I can move it by 3 half steps. And we're always talking about the same chord, just an inversion of itself, because this is a symmetric chord which divides the octave in 4 equal parts of 3 half steps. So when I look at this, I say, well, okay, one of the notes that I have here, okay, is actually an E flat, okay, this D sharp or E flat here. So I can play just this chord because it's the same as this. And then I imagine that there is a B on the bass, but I'm not really playing it, okay? If I play the B on the bass, then I get just the chord we were talking about. But without that B on the bass, that's just going to be an E diminished 7th. So I can go from the 1 to the 5, passing through this and reaching the 5. The alternative that I have is playing the 1, going through the secondary dominant, tension, and then release it on the 5, which acts as a fake 1, okay? So instead of doing this, I'm now playing this. Which sounds great, okay? It's just diminished 7th chord, creates a lot of tension, it sounds fantastic, and you go to the E minor 7. Now, when you play a diminished 7th chord, we said, regardless of where I play it, I can move it by 3 half steps, so I can do the thing that we said before. Therefore, when I play this, I sometimes slide it to its first inversion, okay? I slide it by 3 half steps, and then I continue with the 5. So instead of just doing 1, diminished 7th, passing chord, okay, secondary diminished 7th should be called this rule. I go to the 5 minor, okay. Instead of just doing this, I actually do Okay, this kind of, when I get this, I go to the fifth degree. Okay, but after this, as you said, I'm actually playing another diminished seventh chord. Okay, another chromatism. So from E flat diminished seventh, I went to E minus 7, which is the 5 of the A minor key. Then from E minus 7, I go to F diminished seventh, which is another secondary diminished seventh chord. But how come I can play another diminished seventh chord, which is not the inversion of this time? Because from E flat, I went to G flat. From fret 6 with the root, I went to fret 9. Now I'm playing the diminished seventh on fret 8, which is an F diminished seventh, okay? How can I do that? Because I'm going back to the 1, I'm going back to the A minus 7, which is the tonic of this key, so it's going to be the first degree, okay? Because I'm going back here, what I'm thinking of is doing exactly the same little game. So I'm pretending that I want to go here, passing through the secondary dominant chord, which would be an E7, and in particular an E7 flat 9, okay? So that the upper part of an E7 flat 9, once more, is a diminished seventh chord. And again, I'm removing the root from this E7 flat 9, so it's going to be an E7 flat 9 rootless. And the 4 notes that I'm left with can potentially all be root notes of this diminished seventh chord that I'm going to play. So the notes that I have here are a G sharp, a D, an F, and a B. And when I play this, I'm actually playing an F diminished seventh, which is one of the notes here, this one, involved in this chord, which with the E on the bass would be an E7 flat 9. So the secondary dominant to go where? To go here, to the A minus 7. Okay. So what I'm doing 1, secondary diminished, and slide to go to the 5 minor, secondary diminished to go back to the first degree. Okay, however you want to play it. Okay, so let's stick to this. I think this is interesting for everybody to understand also what will be in the video that I'm uploading on Tuesday, because when I'm live, I can spend a little bit more of time and I have a little bit of interaction with you guys. The video obviously is pre-recorded, so you can check the lesson and watch it as many times as you like, but it's not the same as, getting an actual interaction, which is what you get when you're live. So again, I'm playing the first degree with this tiny embellishment. Okay, root going to the 9th. Then I play the diminished 7th chord as a passing chord, as the upper part of a B7 flat 9, which would be the tension to release on the E minus 7. Okay, and then I go to F diminished 7th as the upper part of an E7 flat 9. And then back to the 1 again. In between, you can find different embellishments, okay? So you can go through like hammer-ons, slides, other hammer-ons, the ones that we talked about before. And maybe once you're here, if you like it, slide it again. So from the F, you go to an A flat diminished 7th, which is again an inversion of this, and you go back to A minor 7 or A minor 11. This would really, through explanations, be really open and stuff. Great. I'm glad it was helpful. This is that's the reason why I'm here live, and that's the reason why I make these YouTube videos, especially this new series on R&B and neo-soul acoustic guitar. Okay, because I felt like there are many videos around on electric R&B and neo-soul guitar, not so many when you talk about acoustic guitar and the way you play a rhythm part, especially when it's finger picking. Then in the next episodes, which, as I said, they will be on different levels. So some of them will be beginners, some of them will be advanced or intermediate. I will try to talk about what's the difference between playing finger picking, this style of finger picking on acoustic guitar, and how it sounds and what you can do when you actually play it with a pick. Or, for example, how you can play melodies in between. This is just a tiny one, which goes like sort of pickup bar. Lots of different embellishments that you can play here. So on the A minor 7, I'm doing this, or I'm playing a minor 11, Sometimes I also like to play, you know, stuff like a minor 9. I think in the video that I'm releasing on Tuesday, there is a resolution the last time on this minor 9, and then the root 1 octave lower, which is really cool as well. Okay, so there is a lot going on at the same time. Guys, I see that there are a few more people now joining. Thanks for joining this live streaming. First of all, we are discussing a few cliches and unique things of the R&B and neo-soul acoustic guitar style. So if you've got any questions about this or any questions about anything else related to you know, music and acoustic guitar in general, or electric guitar as well, let me know in the comments. I'll try to answer to everybody. And as I said, on Tuesday, I will be releasing the second episode, the second part of this new series on R&B guitar. So we went from the first one, which was a little bit more for beginners and had only 3 chords. But you see, here and there, even when you play something for beginners, you still play few embellishments or slide or hammer-ons or separate the bass, you know, and use some percussions and then go into the first degree, still using a sort of, you know, melody in the end. You know, I would play the melody like this, and what you do it this way. Most of the times on the right hand, I'm plucking, you know, I'm plucking all of the strings. So I'm doing, you know, hammer-ons on the left hand, pull-offs, but the right hand is just plucking. Or the only other thing I can do really is just playing the bass separately and the upper part before it slides. And then from time to time, I kind of like strum the strings and then continue the arpeggio, pinching the single string. Okay. Same thing when you play the A minor. Okay, the only thing you want to be aware is that sometimes you want to change the set of strings that you're playing. So sometimes you will move from here to the higher 3 strings that you find here at the bottom. Okay, that's how you go basically in between these two. So in general, what are other things that we might want to go through when we talk about this style, the R&B acoustic guitar style? It's the type of chords that you're going to find. Although in the beginner chords, the beginner video, I went through -7, and just minor triads, which is very common, together with the -7, which are obviously extremely common in this style. You might find major 7, so doing stuff like that. Other embellishments here, and basically going through, you know, -7, major 7. So that's a very good chord to know, the major 7 chord, especially the one with the root here, but also the one with the root on the low E string, in order to do these kind of stuff. Okay, then minor 11 chords, so extensions of a -7, which could go like -9 or -9 here, or minor 11. Okay, so these are all A minor, variations of an A minor, an A-7, extended to the 9th, extended to the 11th, extended to the 9th again. Okay, so these are very common chords that you find here. And the diminished 7th chord. We explain what's the function of these diminished 7th, which is going to be the secondary diminished 7th function. So basically the upper part of a dominant 7 flat 9 chord, which is a secondary dominant chord. That's the way you can look at them. Okay. So when you talk about diminished 7th chords, you really want to crack 3 different positions. One is the one we were playing before all the time, with the root note on the E string. Let's keep it in C. It would be here. Because once you've got this, you already cover the whole set with all of the inversions. All of the inversions will have the same shape. That's a beautiful thing about symmetric chords. It happens the same with the augmented triads, if you're familiar with this kind of sound of an augmented triad. Then you might want to learn it with the root note on the E string. That's a C with the root note on the E string, and I play this position. So 2 fingers on the 8th fret and then a bar, which covers 7th fret of the D and the B. I'm not using the A in the 1st string. Okay, and again, even this can be wherever you like it by 3 half steps all the time. And then the last position is the same chord with a root note on the D string. So if I'm talking about a C, I would play a C on the 10th fret of the D string, and I would just play this. Okay, so this is going to be a C diminished 7th with root on the D string. And even this can be moved by 3 half steps. So all of the shapes I played are always the same chord, C diminished 7th, or an inversion of a C diminished 7th. And they are the only positions you can play on guitar for a diminished 7th chord. So this is different from a major 7, a minor 7, a half diminished chord, or a dominant 7, or anything else really that you might learn on guitar, because those chords have many possibilities on the instruments. You can play them in many ways. You've got all of the inversions, the different sets of strings that you can explore. For the diminished 7th chord, it doesn't work quite the same, okay? Because you only get 1 position with the root on the E, 1 position with the root on the A, and 1 position with the root on the D. Then you just move the same position by 3 half steps all the time, and you cover all of the possible positions for the diminished 7th chords on guitar. Okay, so that's something that I think is really important to say. I hope the quality of audio and video is fine. If you can, guys, let me know in the comments if you can hear my voice and my guitar all right, if you got any noise, or if you got any issue with the sync between the audio and the video. I hope the quality is all right. I noticed that at the beginning of this live stream it wasn't quite the same as the usual quality, but you know, just let me know in the comments if you can. Thank you. So yeah, these are other chords that you might want to explore. Okay, so that you crack the -7, the -7 flat 5, which are basically the ones we were talking about before in the 2-5-1 minor, the major 7th that we explored, the dominant 7, you know, especially when they are with some kind of alteration. Okay, I'm gonna put all of the videos that I have about these chords, I guess, in the cards of this video, if it works. Okay, so if you're watching the replay, if you're not watching it live, you might already get all of the cards with all of these chord positions, the dominant 7, all thread, you know, the sharp 9, the extensions, this kind of stuff. And yeah, once you've got that, you should have the vocabulary, enough vocabulary to actually play the rhythm part, to actually play all of that. So then the next step would be getting a really solid foundation on the fret, on the picking hand, to get the finger style part. Okay, diminished chord into music, such an easy chord to play and can bring so much life. Exactly, yeah, that Bastian, that's exactly what the diminished 7th chord does, and it's so important. Audio and video chord is good. Thank you. Thanks for your feedback. Yeah, so the diminished 7th chords are really chords that for some reason most people don't go through at the beginning, but you know, it's such an amazing chord, and I think it's worth spending some time. And also, compared to other chords where you will, you know, spend a lot of time before you get all of the positions in all of the sets of strings, this is quite of an easy one, meaning that, okay, even if the fingering is not the easiest, you can still, you know, learn 3 positions in the end and cover the entire fretboard in all of the sets of strings. It's so good. It's so unique, you know, compared to other chords and what you do with other chords. Speaking about, you know, the rhythm part, or in general what the picking hand does, I think it might be worth spending some time trying to understand that very often you've got a sort of shuffle or swing feel, meaning that even when you arpeggiate 4 notes, you don't really play them this way. You don't really play them like 1 E and up, simple 16ths. You more likely shuffle them a little bit, so you get more like. And there is immediately such an incredible difference in terms of groove. It sounds so much better when you can do, okay, especially when it's followed by the percussion, which I just played. Now, I most of the times do this slap percussion with my thumb, but feel free to use all of your hand. That's absolutely fine as well. Just be aware that you should use this percussion on 2 and 4. So if you count like 1, 2, 3, 4, you do this when you say 2 and when you say 4. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And if on 1 and 3 I play these 4 notes, I will give that sort of shuffle feel, and then I get the percussion. Then I do it on another chord. And when you try this, there's one bar, simple bar, guys. 4 beats, 1 and 3 with your pages, 2 and 4 with the percussions, and it brings to life this incredible sound, incredible groove already, just from something really easy like 1 EN A2, 3 EN A4. It changes immediately compared to playing, which would be a straight arpeggio with no percussions in between, although the chords are the same. But this is more, you know, it's too long, so it doesn't get as good as it goes when you get. Especially if then you continue maybe with a little color that you can add through an extension like an A minor 11, right? This is all you can do really every time that you play arpeggios. Okay, so that's really important. We'll maybe go through the embellishments as well that I was playing on the left and in another live stream maybe. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is that you alternate pinching the strings, meaning that you play single strings, with plucking the strings, meaning that you play more strings simultaneously. Okay, it changes a lot the feeling when you arpeggiate or pluck. Off topic, want to check out your funk fundamentals course. Link doesn't. Oh, thank you for letting me know. That's quite strange. As soon as I finish this live stream, I will double check the link. It's a link to this course that I recorded about a year ago in collaboration with Your Guitar Academy, and it's a 10 video lesson course to get started on funk guitar. So if you guys are interested in learning funk guitar, it's for electric guitar. So if you're interested in that, you can check out this video course that I made with the guys at Your Guitar Academy. And it has 10 lessons. You go over these 10 lessons with interactive tab provided by Soundslice, which means that basically while I play, while you watch the video, you also have the tab on the side, and the tab moves with the video, and you can slow down the tab and slow down the video at the same time. So you can be absolutely on top of everything I do in terms of examples. You can play them with me. The course also provides, you know, a full tab, a full write-up of each lesson, backing tracks, all the material you need, the diagrams, everything really. It's really high level. It's in HD, and you've got 3 different camera angles in each video. So if you want, you can check it out later. Thanks for letting me know anyway. Definitely at the end of this video, we'll double check that link. And if there is still issues, if you still can't click on it after this video, feel free to message me. You can find my email address at the bottom of the description of this live stream, or also you can follow me on Instagram and send me a message, a direct message on Instagram as well. Okay, so that we can speak there, and maybe I can provide you with the actual link. It's very strange that it doesn't work, but you know, I know that the website was going under some maintenance, so maybe there might be something wrong with that specific page. But thanks for letting me know. So guys, yeah, that's for the funk guitar, and it's on electric guitar. And again, that goes over the very basics of the funk. So getting the 16th note, strumming, and also getting all of the shapes that you need and the actual sound that you hear when you play Nile Rodgers, when you play Daft Punk, when you play Bruno Mars. You know, all of the funk, the classics, James Brown, you know, of the Motown era, or Stevie Wonder, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It's basically in that course. Okay, I'm planning in the future to do a second level of that course, maybe for intermediate players, but you know, that's it for now. So going back to my new series of R&B acoustic guitar and neo soul. The first video is already out, I said, and the next one will be out on Tuesday, and it will be an intermediate one. So if you are already familiar with some of the chords that I showed in this live stream and the rhythms, it might be worth checking out the next video, the new video coming up on Tuesday. It will be this progression, basically. Using a couple of diminished seventh chords and -7. There are more embellishments that I recorded in this video. There is also a tiny melody at the beginning to start getting some elements of melody together with the chords. The actual key should be half step lower, so it should be A flat. Now in the example that I just played, it was in A minor. Okay. So this is it really, guys, and thanks for watching this live stream. My next live stream, when is my next live stream? Because I get a lot of messages about that. My next live stream will be on tomorrow. Will be on Saturday, tomorrow, on Instagram. Okay, so if you don't follow me yet on my Instagram page, make sure to do so, because I will be live tomorrow about same time. It's actually 6:30 in the UK tomorrow, and I will be talking about acoustic guitar again, not specifically on R&B, but still acoustic grooves that you can create on acoustic guitar, right? So if you're interested in all that, I go through the techniques and the percussive side and everything. So if you are interested, you can join the live stream tomorrow on Instagram as well, at about 6:30 in the UK. Which is daytime even in the US, and about evening in Central Europe. If you got further questions, guys, feel free to either drop them in the comments below, even if you're watching the replay of this, or message me on Instagram, send me an email. You can find my email address at the bottom of this, at the bottom of the description of this live video as well. So any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them either live tomorrow or privately if you send me a message. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this little live stream on the acoustic guitar, R&B acoustic guitar. More to come in the next few weeks. Thanks for watching again, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow on Instagram.